After the age of 0, strength doesn't fade overnight. It fades quietly. One day standing up takes a little longer. Walking feels heavier. Balance doesn't feel as steady as it used to. Most seniors blame age, and most families accept it as normal. But orthopedic specialists see something different. They see pattern. They see that many older adults are doing what they were told to do, eating eggs for protein, following the same advice they followed for decades, yet still losing muscle strength, bone density, and stability in the legs. And that's where the surprise begins. It's according to orthopedic experts who work with seniors every day, the problem isn't effort. It's outdated nutrition habits. After 0, the body changes how it digests and uses protein. What worked at 40 or 50 doesn't always work the same way anymore. Eggs are good, no question about that, but they're not always the most efficient option for aging muscles and bone. In fact, one specific type of cheese is quietly being recommended more often by orthopedic specialists because of how it supports muscle retention, bone strength, and nerve communication in older adults. This isn't about trends or food fads. It's about how aging bodies absorb nutrients. As stomach acid declines and digestion slows, some proteins become harder to break down and use. When that happens, muscles don't get what they need, even if protein intake looks adequate on paper. That's why so many seniors eat well but still feel weaker. Orthopedic specialists don't just treat fractures and joint pain. They look at why the body becomes fragile in the first place, and increasingly they point to one overlooked food that delivers highly usable protein, key minerals, and supportive compounds, often more efficiently than eggs after The surprising part? This cheese is affordable, common, and already sitting in most grocery stores. No powders, no pills, no extreme diet, yet almost no one talks about it. In this video, we're going to explain why orthopedic specialists are paying attention to this food, how it supports aging muscles and bones differently than eggs, and why making a small change after it can have a big impact on strength, balance, and confidence. This isn't about replacing everything you eat. It's about understanding what your body actually needs now, not what it needed decades ago. After 0, the body enters a different nutritional phase. Muscle loss accelerates, bone density declines more quickly, nerve signaling slows. These changes don't happen because seniors stop trying. They happen because the body becomes less efficient at using nutrients. One major issue orthopedic specialists point out is protein utilization. Aging muscles need protein that is easy to digest, quick to absorb, and rich in specific amino acids that trigger muscle repair. Eggs contain protein, but for many seniors, digestion becomes a barrier. Protein may enter the body, but less of it reaches the muscles. This is where certain cheeses stand out. Some cheeses provide highly bioavailable protein, meaning the body can absorb and use it more easily. They also contain calcium, phosphorus, and supportive fats that work together to protect bones and joints. Orthopedic specialists often see better muscle retention and bone stability in seniors who include these foods regularly.
Another overlooked factor is nerve-muscle connection. Muscles don't work alone. They rely on nerves to fire properly. When nerve signaling weakens, strength drops even if muscle mass looks acceptable. Certain cheeses contain nutrients that support nerve communication, which helps muscles activate more effectively during movement.
Eggs don't offer the same combination. Orthopedic experts also focus on fall prevention. Most fractures after 0 are not caused by weak bones alone, but by weak muscles and delayed reaction time. Foods that support muscle strength, balance, and nerve response play a direct role in reducing fall risk. This is why diet becomes part of orthopedic prevention, not just treatment. Importantly, this isn't about eating large amounts. Orthopedic specialists emphasize small, consistent intake. A modest portion of the right cheese a few times a week can provide steady support without overwhelming digestion. There's also a practical advantage: compliance. Seniors are far more likely to eat foods they enjoy and tolerate well. Cheese often fits easily into meals, snacks, or evening routines, making long-term consistency realistic. That's the real secret. Not extreme changes, not miracle foods, just smarter choices that match how the body works after lunch. In the next part of this video, we'll reveal which specific cheese orthopedic specialists recommend, how much is enough, and how to include it safely without raising cholesterol concerns or digestive discomfort. Because after Strength isn't about doing more. It's about doing what works now. When orthopedic specialists talk about nutrition, they focus less on trends and more on how the aging body actually absorbs and uses food. This is where one type of cheese is often mentioned more than others: aged, cultured cheeses that are easier to digest and rich in usable nutrients. What makes these cheeses different isn't hype, it's structure. As cheese ages, proteins break down into smaller peptides and amino acids. For older adults, this matters because digestion and stomach acid tend to decline with age. Smaller protein structures are simply easier for the body to absorb, meaning more of what you eat actually reaches muscles and bones. Orthopedic specialists care about this because muscle loss, ERO, isn't just about eating enough protein. It's about protein quality and usability. If protein isn't absorbed well, muscles don't get the signals they need to repair and stay strong, even if intake looks adequate on paper. Certain aged cheeses provide high quality protein along with minerals that support the skeletal system. Calcium and phosphorus are naturally present in balanced ratios, helping maintain bone structure. This is especially important at 0 when bone turnover increases and fracture risk rises. Another reason these cheeses stand out is tolerance. Many seniors experience bloating or discomfort with foods that are harder to digest. Properly aged cheeses tend to be lower in lactose, which makes them gentler on the stomach. Better tolerance leads to better consistency. And consistency is what orthopedic specialists value most. There's also the matter of muscle-nerve coordination. Strength isn't only about muscle size. It depends on how well nerves communicate with muscles during movement. Some nutrients commonly found in aged cheeses support this communication indirectly by contributing to overall nerve and muscle function. While cheese is not a treatment, it can be part of a diet that supports smoother, more confident movement. Eggs are still a healthy food, but they don't always provide the same combination of digestibility, mineral density, and fat-soluble support that certain cheeses do. Eggs contain protein, but they lack the same mineral profile and may not be as easy to utilize for some older adults. Orthopedic specialists also emphasize portion control. This isn't about eating large amounts of cheese. Small regular servings are usually enough to provide support without excess calories or digestive strain. A few ounces several times a week can fit comfortably into most diets. Timing matters too. Many specialists suggest including these cheeses earlier in the day or with a light evening meal when digestion is still active. Pairing them with vegetables or whole foods can further support nutrient absorption. Importantly, this approach is not about replacing all other protein sources. It's about adding a smart option that aligns with how the body changes after. Cheese becomes one tool among many alongside movement, hydration, and balanced meals. Orthopedic specialists often say the goal after 0 is at maximal strength. It's functional strength, the ability to stand, walk, balance, and move confidently. Nutrition plays a quiet but powerful role in maintaining that function. In the next part, we'll talk about how much is enough, common mistakes to avoid, and how to include this cheese safely, especially for those concerned about cholesterol, blood pressure, or digestion. Once people understand why certain cheeses may work better for aging muscles and bones, the next question is simple: how much is actually enough? Orthopedic specialists are very clear on this point. More is not better. In fact, overeating can cancel out the benefits. After 0, the body responds best to small, consistent amounts. Large portions are harder to digest and can create discomfort, especially in the evening. Most specialists suggest thinking in terms of support, not replacement. Cheese is meant to complement meals, not dominate them. A modest serving, often just a few small slices or a couple of ounces several times a week, is usually sufficient. This provides usable protein and minerals without overwhelming digestion or adding unnecessary calories. The goal is steady input, not spikes. One common mistake seniors make is treating cheese like a snack food rather than a nutrient tool. Eating it mindlessly, late at night, or in large quantities can lead to bloating, sleep disruption, or concerns about weight and cholesterol. Orthopedic specialists stress timing and pairing. Cheese is best eaten with meals, not on an empty stomach. Pairing it with vegetables, whole grains, or light proteins helps the body process nutrients more smoothly. This also supports better blood sugar balance, which matters for nerve and muscle function. Another frequent mistake is choosing highly processed cheeses. Many packaged cheese products contain additives, excess sodium, or altered fats that reduce nutritional value. Orthopedic specialists generally prefer simple, traditionally prepared cheeses with minimal ingredients. The shorter the ingredient list, the better. Salt is another area to watch. While cheese naturally contains sodium, excessive intake can contribute to fluid retention and discomfort, especially in the legs. This doesn't mean cheese must be avoided. It simply means portions should be sensible and balanced with adequate hydration. Some seniors also assume that if a food is helpful, it should be eaten every day. This isn't always necessary. Orthopedic specialists often recommend variety. Rotating cheese with other protein sources keeps nutrition balanced and digestion comfortable. Digestion itself is a key factor of eating too close to bedtime can reduce sleep quality and increase discomfort. Many specialists suggest including supportive foods earlier in the day or with a light evening meal rather than late at night. Another mistake is expecting quick results. Muscle strength, balance, and nerve response improve gradually. Cheese does not work like a supplement or medication. It supports the body quietly over time. Seniors who notice benefits usually describe subtle changes first. Better stamina, steadier movement, or less fatigue, rather than dramatic shifts. It's also important not to ignore individual differences. Some people tolerate dairy well, while others may need to limit it. Orthopedic specialists often recommend paying attention to how the body responds. Comfort, digestion, and energy are better guides than rigid rules. Concerns about cholesterol often come up. Specialists generally agree that moderation matters more than avoidance. Small portions of quality cheese can fit into a balanced diet without causing issues for most people. Those with specific medical conditions should always follow personalized guidance. The biggest takeaway from orthopedic specialists is this: consistency beats intensity. A small amount of the right food eaten regularly and thoughtfully does far more than occasional large servings. After staying strong isn't about pushing harder or changing everything at once. Orthopedic specialists consistently emphasize a simpler truth. Small, smart adjustments done consistently support strength, balance, and confidence far better than extreme measures. Throughout this discussion, one idea keeps coming up. The aging body doesn't stop responding, it simply responds differently. Digestion slows, absorption changes, muscles and nerves need clearer signals and more usable nutrition. When food choices align with these realities, the body often does the rest quietly and steadily. That's why certain cheeses can play a helpful role after, not because they're magical, but because their nutrients are easier to use. Highly usable protein supports muscle maintenance. Balanced minerals support bones. Better tolerance supports consistency. And consistency is what matters most over time. But nutrition never works alone. Orthopedic specialists also look at movement, not intense workouts, but regular, gentle activity, walking, light resistance, and balance exercises help muscles stay active and help nutrients reach the tissues that need them. Even short daily movement sessions can reinforce the benefits of better nutrition. Hydration is another quiet factor. Fluids help circulation and support how nutrients move through the body. Many seniors drink less water than they need, which can affect muscles, joints, and nerves. Pairing supportive foods with adequate hydration helps the body make better use of what it receives. Sleep matters too. Muscles repair and nerves reset during rest. Eating supportive foods earlier in the day or with a light evening meal can improve comfort at night, helping sleep quality. Another key piece of strength and stability. Equally important is expectation. Orthopedic specialists often caution against chasing quick changes. Real improvements tend to appear gradually, steadier steps, less fatigue, better posture, or improved confidence getting up from a chair. These aren't dramatic overnight shifts, but they're meaningful and they add up. It's also essential to keep things personal. Everybody is different. Some people tolerate dairy easily, others need smaller amounts or more spacing. The best guide is how the body responds: digestion, comfort, energy, and sleep. Adjustments should always be gentle and respectful of individual needs. Concerns about cholesterol, blood pressure, or weight are common and valid. Specialists generally agree that moderation and quality matter far more than avoidance. Small portions of simple, traditionally prepared cheese can fit into a balanced routine for many people. When in doubt, personal medical guidance always comes first. The broader message is reassuring. Aging does not mean inevitable decline. With the right support, many adults maintain functional strength and independence well into later years. Food choices, movement, hydration, and rest work together as a system, each reinforcing the others. After Sarah, success isn't measured by what you give up. It's measured by what you add wisely. A small, consistent change, like choosing foods the body can actually use, can support steadier movement, better balance, and greater confidence in everyday life. And that confidence matters. Supports independence, reduces fear of falling, and makes daily activities feel manageable again. That's the real goal orthopedic specialists focus on, not perfection, but function and quality of life. After the age, strength is no longer about pushing harder or doing more than the body can handle. Orthopedic specialists consistently focus on something far more realistic and important, staying functional, stable, and confident in everyday life. Being able to stand up without hesitation, walk without fear, and move through daily routines comfortably matters more than peak performance ever did. One of the biggest misunderstandings about aging is the belief that weakness is unavoidable. In reality, the body does not stop responding to support as it gets older. It simply responds differently. Digestion changes, absorption slows, and muscles and nerves need clearer, more usable signals. When nutrition and daily habits match these changes, the body often adapts in quiet but meaningful ways. That is why orthopedic specialists pay attention to foods the aging body can actually use. Certain cheeses fit into this picture, not because they are trendy or miraculous, but because their nutrients are easier to digest and absorb. When protein and minerals reach the muscles and bones efficiently, they help maintain the systems that support balance, posture, and movement. This kind of support works slowly, but it works steadily. It is important to keep expectations realistic. Cheese is not a cure, and it does not replace movement, hydration, or rest. It is simply one supportive element in a larger routine. Orthopedic specialists often emphasize that real strength after a zero comes from how well different parts of the body work together, not from any single food or habit. Movement remains essential, even in gentle forms. Regular walking, light resistance, and balance exercises tell the body where to use the nutrients it receives. Without movement, even good nutrition has limited effect. So when movement and nutrition work together, muscles stay more responsive and joints feel more reliable. Hydration also plays a quiet role. Fluids support circulation, which helps nutrients reach tissues and helps muscles and nerves communicate effectively. Many older adults drink less water than they need, which can affect comfort and energy without obvious warning signs. Simple hydration habits often make supportive foods work better. Sleep should not be overlooked either. Rest is when the body repairs itself, muscles recover, nerves reset, and balance systems recalibrate. Eating supportive foods earlier in the day or with a light evening meal can improve comfort at night, making restful sleep easier to achieve. Patience is one of the most important tools. Improvements rarely appear overnight. They often show up as small shifts, steadier steps, less hesitation when standing, or greater confidence moving around the home. These changes may seem subtle, but they are exactly what protect independence over time. Fear can easily interfere with progress. Many seniors worry that weakness means decline is inevitable. Orthopedic specialists see something different every day. They see people who make small, thoughtful changes and gradually regain confidence in their movement. Aging does not automatically mean fragility, especially when the body is supported appropriately. Moderation continues to matter. Eating more does not mean getting stronger. Changing everything at once often backfires. The most successful routines are simple, consistent, and easy to maintain. A small portion of the right food eaten regularly supports the body far better than occasional extremes. Listening to the body remains essential. Everyone responds differently. Comfort, digestion, and energy levels are better guides than rigid rules. Adjustments should always feel supportive, not stressful.